Hello, my name is Mark Robertson. I'm here today to talk to you about a book I've put together. It's called Carrying Lawn Chairs. It can be, of course, found on Amazon. $2.99 electronic book, a little over $9 paperback book. But Carrying Lawn Chairs, what is it about? Well, on the surface, it's about youth sports and my opinions of organized youth sports, good and bad. I have been involved in youth sports a number of years in many different capacities. I was a player, coach, umpire, scorekeeper, league organizer, and just an ordinary fan. And I've seen some things, quite a few things actually, that kind of make me uneasy about youth sports. And that is largely what this book is about, at least in the first section. The first part of the book is about youth sports and the many hazards I think that are in it. Carrying Lawn Chairs, how did I come up with that title? Well, all across the country and even around the world, even on like almost a daily basis, you have throngs of people who are very obsessed with youth sports, going to various venues. I emphasize baseball in this book because that is what I have been mostly involved in. But they go to these fields and they, by the throngs, they carry their lawn chairs, they go over there, they sit down and watch the games, and they are on the edge of their seats watching 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds play sports with boys and girls, and are into every pitch, every play, yelling from the stands, giving orders, doing all things, just totally glued to what's going on. And my question is why? What is really going on here? What is it all about? What are all these parents so obsessed by getting very young kids into youth sports? And it is my opinion, a controversial one, that the kids at that age aren't even interested in the youth sports. It's the parents who think, well, I got to get them started at a young age if they're going to have any chance to succeed in sports or even in the world in general. It's the philosophy as well in education. You got to start them young in preschool, learn flashcards, do all this stuff, get them started early so they can have a chance in this competitive world. And it is my opinion that actually gets in the way of a child being able to compete in the world in a good way as they grow up. My opinion is that a young child should be involved in authentic play. Here's where they gain self-knowledge. They know who they are. They have actual real fun in authentic play. They have joy. They learn what they're good at. They know what they can do. They know what direction they want to go in life. The other route puts them in kind of a box or an isolation where they have to go a certain way. They have to please their parents. And these kids on that field, just think about it. Their mind is divided. They're out on a little field. They're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. The stands are full of people yelling. They don't want to do anything to embarrass themselves or make mistakes. They're kind of frozen into a situation where they're kind of a no man's land. And in my opinion, this is not good. I mean, yes, I'm not against sports at all. I'm involved in sports. I've played sports. I like to watch sports. But I think sports, organized sports for very young kids is not a good thing. And I don't think it really does help them later in sports. If they get involved in it when they're in their teens or 10, 11, 12, I wouldn't personally put any child into organized sports before at least the age of 10. And in fact, organized sports, when they're that young, it can even harm them. There's all kinds of stories of burnout and things like this. But just think about it. A child is on a field and they're there. They're not sure why they're there. At that age, a child really is thinking they just want to be loved by their parents, so they got to do what the parents wants them to do. And they will put up with this unhappiness. They must think that there's something wrong with them, not enjoying it. And really, it's all kind of this scene where you got all these stands packed with people sitting in their lawn chairs, watching these little kids play sports. To me, is even a dysfunctional scene. I know that's quite controversial, but that's largely what my book Carrying Lawn Chairs is about, at least the first section. And I talk about what's going on in the parents' mind. It's almost like there's a group think or automatic pilot. It's a normal thing to put kids into sports at this young age. And in my opinion, it's not a good thing. It's something that I'm against. I really don't even. This is not a book about how to fix youth sports for very young kids. I don't think there is a way to do that. It's something that I don't think it's actually good for them. They can play later. There's all kinds of stories of major leaguers, great major leaguers, who play sports. They don't even they played pickup ball. They learned how to play on the sand lot. And I know these days most major leaguers probably did play little league sports of some sort. But they really learn more. They play all day. They test. They experiment. They don't worry about failure. They just have fun out in the great outdoors, and they learn how to play. I read a thing about Henry Aaron, the great slugger. He credits learning how to hit baseball. He grew up very poor, and they couldn't even afford a baseball. So, but there were where he lived, there was either bars or something like that. They had these beer caps around, and they would have broomsticks, and they would throw beer caps at each other, and they learn how to hit that way. If you throw a beer cap, it doesn't go straight, right? So they learns how to hit a curveball that way. And he credits to this day, maybe the most dangerous hitter, feared hitter of all time, credits that teaching him how to hit. I mean, he's a kid. He did nothing organized. These kids playing on a sand lot, poor kids, and that's what he credits. So I think this getting kids started early in youth sports is not a good thing on many different levels, both as wanting them to succeed in sports, succeed in life. It's not good for the kid learning who they are. I am for authentic play, letting kids go out, have a pickup game, let them run around the yard, play hide and seek, tag. There's too much emphasis on organized sports at that young of age, and not even just in sports. To me, in a lot of areas, everything is so programmed. They need more free time. That doesn't mean they can't have boundaries. Kids just can't run wild and free, but within boundaries, they need more free outdoor fresh air and playtime. I know these days technology is a major part of it. It's not going to go away. I don't even have a problem with technology, but as with all things, there has to be a limit and in moderation. But that's basically largely what my book is about. I'm not a guru. I'm not a parental guru. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. These are just observations that I have made over the years watching youth sports, watching life in general. And I'm putting them forth in my book and carrying lawn chairs. And like I say, the parents often, they worry about their kids being competitive in this crazy old world. And I think, well, we got to get them started young. We've got to be tough on them, make them sure they're competitive. They got to learn how to compete with kids their age. Like I say, I disagree with that. I think that the way they learn to be competitive is to have authentic play when they're young that's gains self-knowledge and that puts them in a better foundation to meet all the obstacles. And yes, it can be largely a crazy world, but that's my opinion of things. I don't think getting kids started to give them a better shot at life early is the answer. You see all these stories about parents putting their kids in these sports camps at age 4, tennis camps. Oh, they got to start young to have any chance at all. I disagree. It's ridiculous. And now the big thing now these days is travel. They take kids all around the country and all over the state. And in my opinion, the kids, even older kids, are not that thrilled with that. It's kind of a hassle. The parents are really into it. I guess it could even be a status thing for them. But I have, like I say, I'm not against sports. I'm heavily involved in sports. I like it. But there has to be some changes in attitude. It's that there is an obsession with youth sports in this country, and I think it's gotten out of hand. That's largely what my book's about. And the book is divided into 2 parts. The first part does largely deal with sports. We have a society obsessed with winning. Well, probably the winningest coach of all time, John Wooden of UCLA, he didn't emphasize winning. What did he emphasize? He enjoyed the practices more than he actually enjoyed the games. He emphasized teaching how to do things right and wrong. And these youth sports parents are so obsessed with the winning, and they put forth ideas that we'll teach sportsmanship and things like that. But it's all largely about making able to brag on the kids and things like that. And this book also, it's not about correcting youth sports, as we mentioned. It can't be corrected. We've all heard about the trophies for doing nothing. Yes, I'm of course obviously against that. Everybody gets a trophy. That's not good. What I'm more talking about though is it's not natural. The youth sports scene is not a natural scene. I've read about this league that these aren't even very young kids. These are 11 or 12-year-olds where they have a game. It's pretty much a normal baseball game. We've all heard about the leagues where everybody bats, everything's like that. Everybody plays. But this is more of a normal game. But if the pitcher walks a batter, there must be a lot of walks or something, and it gets kind of out of hand. The coach comes out and finishes pitching to the other batter. My gosh, right there, that says this is not a normal thing. Are these kids having fun? Would they rather be out playing by themselves? It seems like this is over-involvement of adults. And you see it in every other thing. I've seen youth football. I've seen kids as little as 5 years old wearing these helmets that are almost as big as they are, and all these guys, coaches out there, fathers acting like they're the Vince Lombardi and everything like this, and they get into these leagues. There's so much into it. It's all about them and their leagues and how they're going to win and the tournaments and everything involved around the adults with these kids, even somewhat using the kids for their glorification. And that can't be good as well, no matter the age. I don't care if it's, these guys could be in their teens. But, and like I say, there's other things too. The Little League World Series, my gosh, you got these 12-year-olds. They're on TV, national TV, worldwide TV, all this pressure on them. At that young of age, it's too much too soon. All these parents in the stands spend all this money to go make this big trip there. And I think it's too much too soon for them at that age as well. And that's largely what my book is about, at least in the first section. I end the first section, though, talking about a youth hockey team that they played when they were in their teens in Canada. And they looked fondly back on those days. And like I say, I'm not against that. That they're in their teens, that's great. They're having a great time. And they look fondly back and they're glad they did it. They did have to travel and they do all that. But they're of age. They're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And that's fine. I just think we've started all this stuff too soon, though. That's one of the main thrusts of my book. It's all too much, too early, and it brings actually great harm to the kids, and it doesn't meet what the parents actually desire in the first place. It doesn't give the kids a head start. It actually brings more harm than good. Authentic play, letting them play by themselves, pick up games, much better. It's much better for the kids, gives them a better attitude, learns who they are, teaches them who they are, and puts them in better shape for life. Now, the second part of the book is not directly related to youth sports. It's more of the parental and child dynamic. And I talk about a number of things in that part of the book. I actually start out, you've seen these shows where they got these beauty pageants for girls, 4, 5, and 6. I don't talk a lot about the girls in this book, but that's one of them. That's a similar thing. It's a similar mindset with the parents. What's going on? Why would a mother put a 3-year-old in a beauty pageant? I don't get that. What's going on in the mother's mind? It's just, I think it's a dysfunction, and I'm not an expert, but all I know is it's not the right thing, and I think that's the attitude. That's the thing that I'm against most of all, whether it's youth sports, this, or any other thing. And then I talk about a number of other things. We talked about boundaries, like the kids can't just run free. Drugs. Why do kids get involved in drugs in high school? It's that false self that sometimes comes about because the parents keep pushing them in a certain direction, and they're a pain. They want to alleviate the pain. And then you've got the ADHD, dyslexia thing where they're drugging these kids in school. To me, that's even crazier. I mean, to me, many boys don't like to sit all day in school. They don't need to be drugged. They just got to realize that there's different ways of learning and teaching rather than putting them in school all day. And then all the debauchery in society, wherever you go, the TV, even in school, and things like that. And government schooling in particular, they really can't teach right and wrong these days, and they're more just institutions of, they stifle creativity and wonder, in my opinion. And I get into all that, comparisons of kids. You don't want to do that. A lot of parents tear down their kids to build them up. That doesn't work either. And the assault on a family in society. We talked about technology earlier, all the bullying and teasing in school. You hear about all this craziness and going on in this society these days with all this ideas of new morality and things like that. They're heading the outer limits. It's just really confusing. I think we need to get back to the basics, whether it's Christian principles or whatever you want to call it. It's been with us for thousands of years, and we've greatly strayed from that. And so that's basically some ideas, some of the things in my book. There are many more things. You have these kids. You ever, as a parent, you'd think, well, your kids come, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. Well, there's always something to do. You can go for a walk, you can read a book, there's something. I mean, you can get on your, like I say, I'm not against technology, I like technology too, but there's always something a child can do. And a young person, teenager, they're bored, they want to go out, and that's when boredom can cause trouble. But kids need to see that there's a whole new world out there, and if they learn awe and wonder as a young child, they know about it when they're an older child. But if they're put in things where they're in youth sports and things they don't want to be in, it's a pattern growing up, they get bored when they're older. And it's something that, like I say, I think starts, and it's things where parents put them in things that they're doing it for their own good. The parents have well-meaning and they think it's the best for them. But overall, if they want them to get along in this world, authentic play, and self-awareness, and they get that from authentic play, and youth sports gets in the way of that. My one underlying theme would be, let kids be kids, but with boundaries. And like I say, that's basically what my book is, Carrying Lawn Chairs, is about. And I appreciate spending time with you today. And like I say, you can find that on Amazon and take a look at it for free, and check it out if you'd like. Thank you very much.